What's going on, guys? PepperBelly here. And if you follow me on Twitter, you've probably recently seen, over the past couple of days, my somewhat little rants, my tiny little rants regarding the AVerMedia Live Gamer HD. How I ordered it and I was all like super happy and I couldn't wait to get it, and I received it, and then I was trying to fix it and set it up, and I was just having endless amounts of issues with it, and I thankfully was able to resolve it to some degree. So I'm pretty much going to be giving you a review. I know there's a lot of reviews out there of the AVerMedia Live Gamer HD, or AVerMedia, however you prefer to pronounce it. But I'm going to be giving you the latest. So the latest firmware upgrade, the latest possible things you can possibly get for it is in terms of drivers and software. And I'm going to be telling you whether or not it's actually worth it. I purchased it for around 220 bucks, plus tax and everything. It came to like 250, around there. Plus I also bought a new Razer mouse pad again, so the total price was like 270 bucks. So I'm sitting here thinking, you know, I paid this much money for this product. I expect something good out of it. And initially I was just completely blown away with how many issues I was having trying to set this thing up. At first it was amazing. It's so simple. You install it in your computer, you plug it into a PCI port, it works in any PCI port. It recommends PCI 1, which is like the smaller one, but unfortunately I can't reach that because of my massive fan that's covering it. So what I did instead is I put it into a PCI 16 slot, which typically gives you the exact same results. No issues at all. It still works, it's still fluid, there's not going to be any difference as long as it fits into a PCI slot. It's just in case you have SLI or you don't have all the slots available, then you're going to run into issues where you're not going to be able to actually install the capture card. It's a very simple process. All you have to do is just install it, and then it comes with these HDMI cords and also comes with DVI to HDMI converter, both female and male. Two different variants there, whichever one you actually need. And basically I use the HDMI cord, so I always have, always will. You just plug in the HDMI going from your graphics card into the in port on your capture card, and then you plug in the extra HDMI cord going from the out on your capture card into your TV or monitor or whatever it is you use to actually view your screen. So it works right off the bat. As soon as you plug it in, as soon as you install it and you plug everything in, you turn on your computer, bam, it's like nothing changed. Everything starts up exactly the same. You're not experiencing any type of lag or anything on the screen. It's still exactly the same, and it's actually very, very good and very impressive. The issue comes when you install Rec Central and actually start to use it as a recording program. Rec Central is actually pretty damn good, don't get me wrong. It's an effective program. It's actually probably the nicest program I've ever seen, next to like Marilla's Action and DxTory, when it actually has options. The only way to actually get the most out of your program is to upgrade to the latest version of it. Go to their website and download it. I would strongly advise to you, if you're going to pick up this card, to not, under any circumstance, install what you have on the disc. I made the mistake of doing that first. It's exactly the same as what you download off the internet. The only issue is I ran into this problem right away where I installed the disc version of it, then I looked online to find an immediate update for it. I updated it, downloading it, and reinstalled it, and then whenever I started to go and try to record, I pushed the fancy easy button that it comes with to start recording, and then it blue screened of death my computer and crashed. Which put me obviously in a pretty pissy mood, and I was really panicky. I was like, oh shit, did it just destroy my computer? Like, what the hell just happened? Apparently it's a very common issue. If you're going to upgrade your software and your programs and all that, completely, and I mean completely, uninstall it from your computer. Wipe out everything, all the profiles you probably saved, everything you possibly have on Rec Central. Just completely wipe it out and reinstall it from scratch. A nice, fresh, clean install, and you won't have any issues whatsoever. Another thing is the latest firmware that they came out with, which is V17. I originally had, when I first picked up this card and installed it, version V12. Now, if you actually read on the forums, and I strongly advise that you go to the forums and read it if you're considering purchasing this product or you have the product, to read the recent update for V17, because there's a lot of people that are complaining about issues. Thankfully, and I mean thankfully, I didn't have a single problem. It didn't, at first, when I first upgraded the firmware, I experienced an issue where the audio just wasn't working whatsoever, and it was incredibly frustrating because the audio is probably the hardest part to get functioning properly on Windows 7, for example, because it doesn't allow you to have multi-audio signals going out from different sources. It always tends to want to stick to one, so you can't, there's ways of getting around it, which I'll get into later. Regardless, that was a major issue, and then there's actually a report of a lot of people that are bricking their cards, like completely just obliterating their cards to the point where they don't work anymore, because of updating to the latest firmware version. I restarted my computer in hopes that maybe that would fix the problem, and it did. When I rebooted my PC, the sound and everything was working flawlessly after I did that. However, beforehand, I was panicking, getting really pissed, and I was really considering going to my local PC shop where I ordered this and just completely bitching to them, even though they don't have returns and refunds. I was just going to go there anyway and just like completely demand my money back for this piece of shit product that I was having a lot of difficulties with. But in reality, after putting a lot more work into figuring it out and getting it to work, it's actually not a horrible product. It's really, really great, in fact. The fact that it doesn't have any performance hit whatsoever on your games is absolutely incredible. I've been playing PlanetSide 2, I've been playing a variety of other games, and just going to town playing these games at max settings and not seeing a single frame issue, which I used to see all the time playing with DX Tori or Marillus Action. Marillus Action I find is the closest thing I can get to this product because it barely has any performance impact at all, and if it does, it's very, very minimal, and it doesn't show as much because it tends to have this way of smoothing out the frames. So even though the frame rate may dip, it still feels smooth. Somehow it does some weird transition there. I don't really know how to explain it. That's the only way I can put it, because comparing it to Fraps and DX Tori, where you get a frame impact and suddenly it starts to get really choppy, Marillus Action is the only one that really proved to me that even if the frames dip, it can still have a nice smooth transition from dropping to going back up to 60 frames, and it still feels really smooth and really good without making it feel choppy and laggy and slideshow-ish. However, with this product, with the AVerMedia Live Gamer HD, you're not going to get a single performance hit because the card does all the encoding in real time. It does everything in H.264 format, and it actually does a pretty good job of compressing it without even having a noticeable impact on your performance whatsoever. You're not going to see it. You're just not going to see the frame rate get hit at all, which is really, really good. And for a $200 product that you're paying with that main thing being advertised, it better damn well not impact your performance. Otherwise, it'd just be the biggest waste of $200 you've ever made in your life when you could have just upgraded your PC. You probably could have bought a brand new graphics card and increase your frames so that whenever you actually use recording programs like Marillus Action, DX Tori, you wouldn't notice it as much, or get a faster hard drive so the write speeds are better, and you probably wouldn't see that much of an impact. Another issue that's very apparent with this product is actually the incompatibility with USB headsets. Now, I went out and bought myself a Planetronix Gamecom 780, so it's a 7.1 surround sound headset. It's faked, but it's actually probably the greatest headset I've ever owned because I haven't actually owned a true $300 7.1 surround sound headset. It gets the job done. It's a hell of a lot better than stereo, and it sounds amazing. I purchased this, I plug it in, and then suddenly there's no audio in any of my videos. The video plays, but there's not going to be any audio. They have a temporary fix that you can do. They have it on their forums, and you can read it. However, I don't like doing that. I'm not going to either. It's a good thing I still have my Razer Karkaraya stereo headset that has amazing sound as well, so I can use that whenever I decide I'm going to record. Problem is that USB headsets are extremely expensive usually when you're buying surround sound versions as well, and the fact that this is a gaming card designed for gamers, and gamers tend to like to spend money on headsets, it's a kind of a shame how it's not actually compatible. They are going to add it. It's confirmed they're going to add it soon, because that's one of the major complaints that people were having, that USB headset support is just, there is none. As soon as you plug in a USB headset, no sound comes through your audio in the video, which sucks. They're going to rectify that. They already said it, they're planning on it, they're going to fix it. Another issue I have with this card, which again relates to audio, and this is one that really turns me off, is actually the lack of audio quality whenever you're using an external source. So not only are you recording the game audio, but you're actually allowing for an external source like a microphone, for example. I recorded it and tried out my AT2020 microphone using the external voice output, the source, and it actually creates a separate MP3 file if you want, so that you can actually go in post-production and do some pretty nice things there if you want. Instead of having separate audio tracks like what DX Tori and Marillus Action does, it'll actually just create a whole separate file altogether, which I kind of would rather have it being separate tracks like DX Tori, but whatever, it still works. It's essentially the same thing, and if whenever you don't want to actually have the commentary that you have going with it, you can just delete the file itself and just keep the gameplay. But the quality is piss poor. It's atrocious. It's absolutely like the worst quality I've ever heard in my life. To be honest, the original reason why I even bought that new headset was simply because I wanted a headset that had a higher quality microphone, that I don't have to actually set up my studio mic with a stand and pop filter and everything right in front of my face. Well, not right in front of my face, but still set it up, kind of being a little bit of a nuisance whenever I'm doing live gameplay. So I got that headset with the sole intention of that, and I've been having trouble trying to get the quality to sound just right, which I've managed to do. using this capture card with the external audio input with my quality condenser microphone sounds even worse than the headset, my Razer Karkarias headset. It just sounds horrible. It's not that bad, but you can definitely tell there's a hissing and staticky like noise that's going in the background, and high-pitched noises just don't seem to work properly with it. And there's actually a forum topic on it, and they're resolving it. They're trying to fix the issue, and I'm happy about that. Otherwise, I would literally just return this card right now. I'd send it back for a full refund, either to their building itself, or hopefully the store will be able to take it back because of like my just complete lack of appreciation in this product. But since they're actually going to resolve it, since they're planning on fixing it with new firmware or with new updated software and trying to fix and tweak it, it's going to be better, and that's the only reason why I'm still holding onto this card. Otherwise, I'd be like, nope, fuck this. I'm gonna go like bring it back and then just upgrade my PC, get a faster hard drive, or maybe a new graphics card, whatever. Anything that would just basically make it so it's easier to record more fluidly and more quickly. Now, setting up the audio is actually the most difficult part. And I said earlier in the video, I'm going to talk about it later in the video, and well, now we're at that part. So yeah, let's start talking about it. What you want to do is go into your recording playback devices, so your sound options essentially is what I'm trying to say, and you want to go into your recording tab. When you do that, you're going to want to be able to toggle showing all disabled items, you know, show disabled devices, show disconnected devices, whatever you want to do, and it'll pop up and it'll show all the ones you have available. You'll have stereo mix, and there'll be stereo mix somewhere in that list or something similar. I don't know, it's traditionally stereo mix, but if there's something in there that's similar, go with that. You're going to want to have to right click on that and go to your properties, and you're going to want to go to your listen tab. When you're in your listen tab, you want to click on listen to this device, and when you play back through this device, you're going to want to select the HDMI cord through your AVerMedia. It'll actually say it. It'll be like playback through this device, AVerMedia HD1, NVIDIA high definition audio, blah. It'll tell you that. Do that, apply it, you're good to go. You don't have to have it set as your default device. That's what people have been saying. You have to set that as your default device, which you don't. I have my Audio-Technica set as my default device, and I still get game audio, no problem. That's the only issue I have with that, is that getting audio to play is a little bit weird and tricky, because for people that don't know that, they have to do that. If you want to have sound playing through your speakers or your regular stereo headsets, you're going to have to do that so that you don't actually have to make it so your AVerMedia high definition sound is actually your main source. Otherwise, you're going to have shitty audio coming out of your TV, which is not going to be nearly on par with what you're hoping to get, which is your speakers and your headset. However, like I said, USB headset, good fucking luck. Like I said, you can go on the forums and they have a temporary fix for it, but they're going to be coming out with support, so once that happens, it'll be worth it. You can use a USB headset and you won't have any issues whatsoever, and you'll still be able to get sufficient quality audio through your HDMI cables. Now, of course, you can use an audio in cable or an audio out, and this is, of course, if your graphics card does not support audio through HDMI, which is a little bit trickier and a little bit different, but essentially you're doing the exact same thing. It works exactly the way you have it. You basically just plug it in into a line out, and you right-click your line out, you go listen to this device, and set it through your AVerMedia card. So everything still works. It's really great. Now that things are set up properly, it's nice. Now, there was originally like this problem with audio syncing. I haven't encountered it. I've encountered it once, and it only happened once. And that was because I was updating firmware and changing everything, and it was just really glitchy and not working properly. Ever since then, it's fixed. It seems to be working pretty damn well right now, and hopefully it just does not take a shit on me, because I will be really pissed if suddenly this product just goes down the tubes for no reason out of nowhere, even though everything's been working at one point, and then suddenly it just breaks down on me. That would just make me infuriated. But right now, as it stands, the product is working flawlessly the way it's intended and the way it should. I would like to see that actual upgrade in software and Rec Central. They're adding more options. They made it so you can actually play a lot higher quality videos, like 20,000 kilobits per second, which is great. You can also increase your audio sound and all that stuff. They added more options. With every update of Rec Central, they're including more options, which are making it a little bit more able to personalize to your liking. But I would like to see higher quality footage. I would definitely like to see increased audio quality as well, including external source, because external source is capped at like 129 or 192 kilobits per second, or 28, somewhere around that. It's horrible. It's completely shit. It sounds terrible. I've seen people make comparisons using Audacity and other things with the exact same audio settings and configuration, and it sounded miles better, like 1,000 times better than what this card is actually outputting. It's a problem with their encoding, or their codecs and all the crap that they have, and hopefully they're going to fix it, and they better fucking fix it, or I'm going to be really pissed off that I spent $200 on a product that works really well, but has a small issue which completely destabilizes and completely eliminates the entire overall quality of this product. Now, another minor issue I have is actually regarding the little button that comes with it, and it's a really neat thing. It's a button that you get, and you just pretty much push it. It's like an easy button, and it records and stops recording, and it'll flash whenever it's recording, and it stays at a stationary bright light whenever it's not. So, now I've experienced, ever since I upgraded my firmware, where it just does not recognize it right off the bat. Every time I turn it on, I have to reach in the back of my computer, unplug the USB, and plug it back in for it to recognize that it's actually a button that's plugged in, and then suddenly, ooh, it starts working again. I don't actually tend to use the button either. I actually kind of just leave it sit there, and instead I have a hotkey that I've been using for other traditional recording programs. However, since you don't actually have a frame rate counter and stuff like that in your games, you're not going to really know whether or not you are recording or not. So that button does come in handy. It's actually crucial to know when you are and when you're not recording. And the fact that you can actually press the button, especially if you set this up so you're recording from a different computer, that easy button makes it so much easier, and really, it's really a nice product, a little thing. It's like a kind of a gimmicky kind of thing people would think of, but it's actually really solidly made. It's really cool, and it works exactly how it's intended, and it comes in very handy for a lot of different situations. Now, one of the major, and I mean major pluses I can bring up about this card is how well it compresses the videos while keeping a fantastic video quality. Now, just to give you a perspective, I recorded a game using DxTory, and I recorded for about 8 minutes and 17 seconds. The file size in that is 12.3 gigs. That's pretty insane. The gameplay you're seeing right now with Battlefield 3 is 29 minutes and 1 second long, but I'm going to cut it up and condense it, and that is only 4.05 gigabytes. A massive, massive difference in file size. Of course, the video quality when you compare the two is nowhere near the same, but the thing is, once you upload it to YouTube and you render it and you do all the editing, all that stuff you got to do, you can't even tell the difference. The quality difference, there's nothing there. The only time you're actually going to see a huge difference in quality is when you compare the raw footage side by side. That's the only time you're going to see a difference. Once it's uploaded, no one's going to give a shit. I've seen people actually upload videos on YouTube using this maxed out, setting it up with the best possible settings they can have, and uploading it to YouTube, and it looks crystal clear, and it actually has amazing quality compared to traditional YouTube videos. It really also depends on how you know how to render videos and all the settings and all that stuff to make videos look as best it can on YouTube. So that pretty much concludes my review. I was being as honest and as brutal as I possibly can about this product, because initially I was very dissatisfied with it, and right now I would say it's probably the best thing I own in my nice kit hardware arsenal that I have. It's very effective. It works flawlessly as the way I have it set up right now, with better and far more improving updates in the future that should rectify a lot of the problems we've been having. Audio sync issues are still hit or miss. Things like that are still hit or miss. You gotta expect that to happen. However, they can be rectified by going in the editing, post-production stuff and kind of making it so it actually balances out. It's possible to fix it, but it would be nice to have a card that didn't have those issues whatsoever, especially for the price you're paying. So as it stands right now, I would only recommend this card if you are completely fucking serious about YouTube. If you like, if this is like all you want to do when you're sitting there and you're like, I need something that's going to benefit me in a lot of ways, make shit a lot easier for me, and I don't have a lot of hard drive space, and I want excellent quality for something that doesn't impact performance on PC, and I game primarily on PC, and I can record PC or Xbox 360 footage. This is the card for you. It replaced my HDP VR, even though they have a new HDP VR 2 that I was looking at. I'm kind of like, fuck, maybe I should have went with that instead. Regardless, this still works as intended, and they are coming out with a new Live Gamer Portable, which is essentially the same thing, except it's portable. Oh my god, you don't have to actually have it in your PC, but it hooks up exactly the same way and has probably better encoding and a lot more upgraded things. So I would wait for that and wait for reviews if you're actually considering buying something of this caliber, and that way you don't have to install on your PC and make a comparison directly between Live Gamer HD and Live Gamer Portable and see which one you would prefer. Or you can look at Blackmagic Intensity Pro cards, which still output massive file sizes, so that's probably the major benefit that you get here with this card. Overall, that's my conclusion. if you're serious about YouTube, if this is what you really want to do, and you're looking for something in the market that can give you recording abilities for consoles and PC, not so much PS3 because of the issues they have with the HDMI there, you're good to fucking go. I would strongly recommend this product. Otherwise, hold off, get a fucking beast computer, and use DxTory Mirrorless Action instead. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to rate the video, comment the video, and subscribe if you want to see more in the future. Take care, guys.